I'm going to be reacting to some of the craziest anti-Israel TikToks. Let's jump straight in.
Not my problem. That's just not my problem. Not my problem.
So this person is a pro-Palestinian advocate. She cares about Palestinian lives. But for the Jews and the Christians who live in Israel, who cares about them? They could die, who cares? That's literally what she's saying. And you know, that's such a horrible thing to say. Honestly, so horrible. Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Did you travel far for this event today?
Excuse me?
Did you travel far?
Yeah. I'm from New York.
Oh, from New York.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. What does your sign mean?
What? Whoa. His sign says that Allah is gathering the Zionists for the final solution with a picture of Israel's flag with a nuclear bomb over it. For those who don't know, Hitler's aim to kill all the Jews was called the final solution. That's what they called it, the final solution. So for him to promote that in public is just crazy. No, honestly, that's just crazy.
It says Allah is gathering all the Zionists for the final solution.
Crazy.
What is that? A mushroom cloud?
Yeah, just like we're saying that Allah is going to destroy them, the Zionist state, because they're oppressing the Muslims.
Okay, yeah. Is that like a nuclear bomb or something?
I don't know what's going to happen, but it's like an example of what Allah is going to do, Allah's destruction. We don't know how it's going to happen.
Okay. What does your flag mean there?
It says there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is the messenger of Allah.
Okay. Gotcha. Can I ask, do you have a job?
It's not relevant.
Excuse me?
It's not relevant.
Well, I'm just curious because you're here on a Wednesday, middle of the day here. Like, what do you do for your day
It's
job?
not relevant.
I'm just curious.
Way to make an
Not
interview awkward. Well, I mean, let's talk about, openly advocating for Hitler's final solution is crazy. And I'm actually quite disappointed that nobody else at the rally saw that and said, you know, you shouldn't be walking around with that and didn't take the sign away from him. You know, as everyone is going there to protest against Israel's policies, but people like this who protest for terrorism against Jews often overshadow the protests. Never mind the fact that it's just pure wrong to actually have such a sign. So I'm actually quite disappointed that nobody took it away.
One struggle, one fight! One struggle, one fight!
Wow.
I don't mean to be the burden of bad news here, but I have a feeling it's going to take a couple of struggles
True.
and maybe like a couple more fights than you're expecting. Let's just say the people in the Palestine you're referring to aren't exactly the biggest fans of the trans community.
Like this person said, Palestinians are definitely not the biggest fans of the trans community, of trans people. And in fact, polls show that they have a very negative view of LGBT people. And also, you know, besides for that, they do have one or two other struggles to get to before they get there, before they even start to think about trans rights. Anyway, let's move on to He made graduation. Please stay with us, Mr. West. With Kanye West saying, Free Gaza. Wow. You know, if you want Kanye West to be on your side, a guy that has tweeted that he himself is a Nazi, that some of his best friends are Jewish, but he doesn't trust any of them, that he loves when Jewish people come up to him and say they can't work for him anymore. If you're proud to win this guy's support, then you're off your rockers. Why would you be proud of his support? Why? Look at this man, how did he delete the Palestinian flag? Okay. I mean, well, it's just...
I'm speechless, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm speechless. I mean, that's what a stupid thing to say. You can't just paint a flag on someone else's property. How do you think the world works? And by the way, I just love how all the comments are calling this guy out on it. Or the person who, not the painter, but the person who made the video. As the top comment says, it's vandalism, arrest those people. And all the comments are just, you know, making fun of the person who made the video, saying, why can he, what do you mean? You can't just paint a Palestinian flag or whatever you, on anyone else's property, even if you agree with it. You can't just do that. Okay, so let's move on to the next video. We don't get paid to run the world, we do it for free. That's quite funny. That is quite funny. But the issue is, although that's quite funny, and I think it's what they call nowadays trolling, that's the word I think they use. Although that's quite funny, it's quite sad to see the comments. The top comment is, Germany had the solution. Another is, a clean, pure world without Jews, I presume that means Jews, will be the only way. Now that is crazy.
It's Israel. We're asking people if they would ever live there.
Oh, I wouldn't.
No?
No.
Any specific reasons?
I believe in a free Palestine.
Okay, and would you ever live in a Muslim country?
Yeah, I would.
Under Sharia law?
Sure, absolutely.
You like Sharia law?
Are you familiar with what Sharia law is?
Yes.
Can you give me an example?
Once a woman starts her period, she is allowed to be married off, whatever age that might be.
Okay, I'm glad you believe that. I think I'll end the conversation here, but...
Okay.
Okay, well, Iran is run by Sharia law. They allow girls to get married as young as 13 years old. Would you really want to live in such a place? Would she really want to live in such a place? I don't think so. And by the way, in Iran, they also have a morality police which go around and lock women up who don't cover their hair in public. That does not sound like freedom. That does not sound like a very nice place to live in. And I would never want to live in there. And by the way, Israel is completely different to that. Israel is a secular democracy. It's completely different to that. Well, those were some very interesting videos. What did you think of them? Comment below your thoughts.